News.
If you take a look outside your window or at these local weather cams, you might think to yourself, wow, what a beautiful winter wonderland. And that is the case, but it's also negative 20 degrees outside, or at least it feels like it. Some places down into the negative 30s. And you know what, Kayla, I got to hand it to you. This happened exactly as you said it would.
Yep.
It came in early in the morning. It was very short. I mean, maybe less than a half hour when that thing passed through. It blew really strong there for a half hour in the morning.
Woke me up.
This is what we were left with, and now it's just a waiting game.
Yeah, and we are seeing a little bit, it's a little blurry outside Dan Cava's Toyota World, but we were seeing earlier in the show that wind was blowing around some flurries. You can see it a little bit in that Buckhannon Toyota weather cam as well. So we are still seeing these winds whipping very strongly. We're still seeing some of that flurry activity, though we're really pretty much done with accumulation for that snowfall, except for some of the higher elevations. We may see a little bit more, but I'll talk about that in just a moment. Satellite and radar showing mostly just clouds right now. The bulk of that precipitation, as we mentioned, did come very early this morning, and from what it seemed like, we didn't really get as much as we anticipated. I don't think we got to 2 inches, but it's hard to measure how much we got because of how much that snow blew around. But now we are in that dry Arctic air, as is a lot of the United States right now. So we are not alone in these very cold temperatures. I mean, take a look at these temperatures across the country right now. We are seeing 1 degree in Indianapolis, -3 in Rapid City. It's in the 20s and 30s in Texas. Hey, I'd love to be down in Miami right now where it's 78 degrees, or maybe out in Phoenix where it's 63. It's looking a lot nicer than most of the rest of the country right now. In our area, it's feeling, as we mentioned, very, very cold. It's feeling like the negative teens for a lot of us. Some of us down to feeling like the negative 20s. Davis feeling like negative 34 degrees. That's because of these very strong winds that we have been feeling. And we're going to continue to feel these wind alerts are in effect until 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. But that does not mean that the winds are going to stop at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. They're just going to be falling out of the criteria for these alerts. But expect those wind gusts 40 to 50 miles per hour in the lowlands. Higher elevations could be as high as 60 miles per hour. Hence why that is a high wind warning instead of just a wind advisory. And of course, because of those winds and the Arctic cold air, we do have the wind chill warning in effect as well. For the lowlands, we do fall out of that criteria through noon tomorrow. Higher elevations, it is going to remain within that warning criteria until noon on Sunday. So taking a look at those feels like temperatures, it's going to be pretty much feeling the same all the way from now through the rest of tonight and into tomorrow morning. It's not until we start to get into the afternoon tomorrow that, as I mentioned, we fall out of that criteria. In the lowlands, still in the negatives, but starting to kind of warm up a little bit. And as we go overnight and into Sunday, it does start to feel a little bit warmer. Most of us are not feeling like the negatives at that point, but still very, very chilly. We do have that winter weather advisory still in effect in some of our higher elevations because of that potential for maybe as much as another inch of snow, probably not that much, but also because of that hazardous blowing snow. This is valid until midnight tonight. We may see a little bit of some precipitation as we go overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, but that would pretty much just be a dusting in those higher elevations. Taking a look at the 7-day forecast, there is an end in sight. We are going to warm up starting on Christmas, even though it is going to be cold on Christmas, but by the time we get to the end of the week, we could be seeing temperatures getting back into the 60s.